For over 10 years, Novatec has worked closely with Dr. Jean-François Dumont to develop a complete line of silicone tracheobronchial stents. The basic design has been patented and a trademark has been registered. Clinical trials and technical advances have led to a great improvement in stent quality. Wall thickness has been significantly reduced to optimize the lumen. The inside edge of the stent has been beveled to eliminate the stair-step effect of the stent against the airway wall. A special non-stick surface treatment has been developed to improve clearance of secretions and reduce friction with the airway wall. The range of stent sizes and diameters has been expanded to allow proper fitting in all cases. In addition, an express service has been set up to provide custom stents promptly upon request. A number of options have been developed, including radio-opaque material, pediatric stents, and a spool-shaped stent specially designed by Dr. Jean-Michel Vergnon for treatment of cicatricial tracheal stenosis. The newest addition to the tracheobroxine family is a Y-shaped stent for treatment of lesions involving the carina. This stent was specially designed to suit the angle of deviation and diameter of the tracheobronchial bifurcation. The diameter of the trachea is between 14 and 16 millimeters. The diameter of the main stem bronchi is 12 to 13 millimeters. Y stents must also meet various pathological indications. A short stent with coverage restricted to the bifurcation and preserving ventilation of the right upper lobe is needed for patients with lesions confined to the carina. A long stent with branches extending higher in the trachea and further down into the left main stem bronchus and bronchus intermedius is necessary for patients with more extensive lesions. Here is the stent developed by Novatec. The thin wall construction increases the lumen of the stent. The diameter of the branches has also been optimized to 12 or 13 millimeters depending on the model. The studs on the front and sides hold the stent in place and limit contact with the stent and mucosa. Studs were purposely omitted on the back as a marker to facilitate proper positioning. Several Y-stent models are currently available from Novatec. These include a short stent with 20 millimeter legs for each main stem bronchus, and long stents with tracheal barrels ranging from 20 to 50 millimeters in length and legs with a variety of forms and lengths. Placement of a Y stent must be performed in association with therapeutic endoscopy using a Dumont Effort rigid bronchoscope under general anesthesia. The first step in placement is disobstruction to make way for the stent. This patient has a tumor straddling the carina. An initial video endoscopic examination is carried out to assess the extent of lesions on both sides of the carina. As a precaution against hemorrhage, the tumor is coagulated using a YAP laser, which is a highly effective tool for this purpose. Next, the two main stem bronchi are disobstructed by a combination of resection and dilatation. The lumen must be sufficient to permit the Y stent to fit snugly. Since the stent introducer requires the largest open tube, the bronchoscope must be withdrawn at this point to allow a tube change. After re-intubation, the most suitable Y stent is selected. In this case, we chose a short model with an oblique leg on the right to allow ventilation of the right upper lobe. Since Y stents are made of high-quality soft silicone, loading into the introducer is very easy. The stent is ejected well above the carina. Positioning on the carina is done using forceps. After identifying the studless back, the stent is turned if necessary and pulled down against the carina. In some cases, the left leg may remain folded. If this happens, the forceps or the end of the rigid tube must be used to obtain proper deployment. At the end of placement, fibroscopic examination is necessary to confirm position and fitting. As you can see in this patient, the right upper lobe is open, and both the bronchus intermedius and the left mainstem bronchus are patent. The main indications for placement of the Y stent are tumors of the tracheobronchial bifurcation and extrinsic compression of the carina. However, it can also be used to treat patients presenting esotracheal or esobronchial fistulas near the carina, or for malacia-related stenosis involving the lower third of the trachea or the origin of the mainstem bronchi. Y stents are remarkably well tolerated and complications are uncommon. During the immediate postoperative period, the patient should use a large drop saline inhaler at least 4 times a day. The number of inhalations can be progressively decreased, and in some cases, inhalation may only be necessary when respiratory problems occur. Routine fibroscopy is not necessary, but 1 examination a year is recommended in cases of long-term placement. Dumont Y stents can be removed no matter how long they have been in place. The Dumont stent, Novatec Tracheobroxan, remains the most widely used tracheobronchial stent. Its main advantages over other stents are soft silicone structure and easy removability. Straight stents are still used in most cases, but Y stents are an increasingly popular alternative to multiple stenting for treatment of lesions involving the carina. Remarkable tolerance and absence of long-term complications make the Novatec Y stent the first choice for treatment of lesions involving the carina.